Welcome to the Business of Black Business, a talk show that interviews Black entrepreneurs and advocates for Black business. The topics of conversation include access to capital, best business practices, success stories, and more. Now introducing our host, Mr. Jay Reynolds.
Hi, welcome to the Business of Black Business. Are you a small business that's operating right now in let's call it a non-traditional kind of field? Do you want to know how to get involved in the billion-dollar cannabis or hemp industry? Well, guess what? We have the opportunity to talk to a young man who's done exactly that, who's been a trailblazer in an area that is non-traditional, and in many cases, non-traditional for us. Again, my name is Jay Reynolds. I own and operate Wolf Creek Consulting. We are a top-ranked executive staffing firm who specializes in placing professionals in finance and accounting, have an office in Coral Springs, an office in Birmingham, Alabama, and an office in West Palm Beach, Florida. Welcome to the Business of Black Business. Now, this is a show that's designed to help young entrepreneurs to be business owners, to launch their business. To not only launch their business, but to perhaps miss some of the landmines out there that would perhaps prevent you from being as successful as you could be. It's a really unique opportunity to gain access to hear directly from successful business owners, to hear how they did it, to be in the room where it happened. And also, in some cases, to get advice from professionals that support these small businesses, how to get money, how to make those things happen. Before we get started, first thing I got to do is thank our sponsors. Thank you, Demesman and Dover Personal Injury Attorneys, the Florida Lottery, Career Source, South Florida, AARP, the University of Miami Research for All. Thank you guys for making this important. Thank you for supporting this. Thank you for making it happen. Now, again, today our special guest is Andre Addison. And Andre Addison is a 39-year-old successful Black entrepreneur and inventor. And Andre, I got to tell you, typically speaking, I don't read bios, but I'm going to read some snippets from yours, right? Because I think that it begs the education process for some of the people that are watching this show. Andre is an entrepreneur and inventor who was born in Jamaica and migrated to the U.S. as a child. His background is in marketing and sales, and he's worked with Fortune 500 and Fortune 100 companies for 10 years while he was helping them to build their sales channels. He decided to start his own marketing company, developing his own ATM and vending routes. Andre has built an empire, let's call it, with a management of over 3,000 ATMs nationwide, and has accounts with Chase Bank, ATM remodeling. He was recently featured in Forbes magazine and over 25 other publications for his new invention and startup company, Canaboxx, which is one of the world's first intelligent vending machines for cannabis and hemp. Andre's goal is to create an opportunity for the Black community to own a piece of the cannabis industry legally, as most opportunities in this field have been dominated by individuals of other races. Cannabox has created a unique opportunity for people of color to take advantage of this billion-dollar industry, which has been shut out for most people of color. Andre has also invented many other notable inventions worth mentioning, and continue to inspire others to show that the sky is the limit. I got to tell you, young brother, I'm very proud of what you've done in a very short period of time that you've done it. I am also very proud of the fact that you have an interest or commitment to reaching back to get other people in this space, meaning that, hey, this is big enough for everybody, right? So your commitment is to reach back into the community and do exactly that. So I'm very, very proud of what you're doing and very proud of what you've done. So with that being said, I read your bio. I typically don't do that, but tell me about yourself. Tell me who you are as a person. Tell me who your mentors are. Tell me what you want people to know about yourself.
Oh, thank you, Jay. Thank you, guys. Thank you, MIA Media Group, for having me here. on the show. I'm honored to be here. So thank you for such an elaborate introduction. I don't think I could have done it better than you. So I appreciate that. So as Jay mentioned, my background is sales and marketing. Most people who know me as a model for the community, someone who uplifts, encourage, motivates, and always, reaching out. That is my personality. I can go a lot more further back, explaining my success, my financial, accomplishments and all of that, but that wouldn't matter much. Who I am is I'm a creative individual who, I'm a forward thinker. I'm very interested in people. I love people. I'm a philanthropist. And, with that being said, that has brought me to a level where I've been able to create different solutions for problems that I've seen. I'm a creative thinker. So most of my business models and my corporations are based around ideas to solve problems that are existing or problems that are going to be prolonged. So,
Mhm.
that being said, I'm a problem solver as well.
Well, tell
Uh,
me something. How many companies, how many EINs do you own? How many companies do you have?
Good question. The fact that you ask, I would assume that you're
You
privy to
know it.
information.
Yeah, right. I don't even have to. Yeah, you're exactly right. I have to do my homework, right? I have to do my
Absolutely,
homework.
absolutely.
Yeah,
So I'll answer you. Answer your rhetorical question.
sure.
But yeah, I own I would say quite a few EINs or quite a few companies. I'm also in the nonprofit space as far as giving back, as Jay mentioned. I'm mostly about giving back. I'm a man of God. I believe in the higher power, and that's one of the things that motivated me so far. So to answer your question, Jay, I have almost EINs, almost 20 EINs, which is insane from the time
Insane.
my first one.
It is off the charts, brother. It's
Yeah,
off the
yeah,
and it's not a bad thing. It just means that you maintain you maintain a status of being on the cutting edge of a lot of things. And that's
yeah,
really what I found most remarkable about it, is that you're on the cutting edge of a lot of things. And as a result of that, you've started a lot of you have a lot of companies that you're in various stages of, let's call it, evolution. And I
yes,
just think that's really cool, that you don't that people should see that you don't necessarily put all your eggs in one basket, but you try to stay on the cutting edge of things. Talk to
right.
me a little bit about the inspiration to start your company. As we talked backstage before, you and I have a similar path. I spent 15, 16 years in corporate America, and I'm glad I did that, because I learned how to run a business, and I learned how to be profitable, and I learned how to read a P&L statement, and I know what a balance sheet is.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean? Because of the time I spent in corporate America. But tell me about your inspiration to start your company.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I started. I could go way back, but just let's say this. I started my main bread and butter company right now, which I'm in the ATM business, the ATM space. I started that back almost 20 years ago. As soon as I left high
Mm,
school, I was actually in college, and I've decided to drop out of college intentionally. I've told all my friends and all my classmates, I said, listen, I really love the idea of I really wanted to become a doctor, but that didn't happen. So I intentionally dropped out of high school because I had this drive and this motivation.
dropped out of high school or dropped out of college?
No, sorry, college. I'm sorry, dropped out of college. Sorry about that.
All right, there's a difference, brother.
No, no,
All
no. It's a
right,
big difference. Big
yes,
difference.
big difference.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no
Um,
worries.
so, with that being said, I've decided to start my first company, which was called Docs Medical Supply. And at that point, I was actually working at the hospital, and I was actually doing my clinicals for nursing school. It was actually one to school for nursing that first, and then my intention was to go to medical school. After starting my first company, I came up with an invention for the hospital, which was adopted by the VA hospitals and a lot of other hospitals. It was a blood pressure cuff protector, and it's called Sanitex. So after my first company, I noticed I didn't have much success because, of course, my age my gender, and many other factors that prevented me from acquiring that level of success at that time. So I didn't stop there. I persevered a little further, where I actually I got an opportunity to work for a Fortune 500 company at that point, based on my sales and marketing experiences, and I was able to help build their channel from one location into 5 locations in a particular region, and I just kept multiplying the location. They offered me a job. This is AT&T, by the way. They offered me a job to build out channels throughout the U.S., which I did that for a few years. That's how I started. That's how I was able to create a form of revenue to start my other corporations. After doing that, I worked for a couple of banks, doing merchant sales and small business solutions for small business owners. And, while selling their financial products, one of the things that caught my eye was an ATM. I sold my first ATM machine, and my commission was $2,000 at that point.
Right.
You
said hello.
Yeah. When I saw my first commission, I said, you know what? Why am I selling all these other products when I can make this much money from one? So I decided to start my own ATM business at that point. And this was about 16 years, about 15, 16 years ago. I started my own ATM business, and I started selling ATM machines, used ATM machines. I repaired the machines. And after doing that, I realized that I can actually make a certain form of residual income that, I don't have to, work constantly for it. I can create it, set it, and forget it. So at that point, I recognized the importance of automation, of creating, a residual income.
You know what? I'm going to stop you because we're going to go into. I want to dig deeper, and I want to drill down into that in a second, because that talks about that talks a little bit about legacy earnings and legacy business and making money work for you versus you working for money, right?
Yes.
Hang on to that thought. Talk to me a little bit about how you began to amass the ownership of these ATM machines, because bottom line is it's a big enough industry for other folks to get into, right? So how did you go about doing that? I mean, did you like, you found a store? And I have no concept, right? So I'm asking you to help us. Whether it's a situation where you found a store going out of business and they had this ATM machine and you bought it from them, or tell me how that works, or tell the listening audience how that works, that you were allowed to get to a point in time you have 3,000 machines.
Yeah. So thank you, Jay. So how that started was, my first recognition of what an ATM was is, at that point in my life, I had started working for that particular financial company, and my first ATM was an ATM machine that I found at a hotel. Okay, it was a machine that I called them and said, "Hey, I would like to sell you an ATM machine." They said, "Hey, we have an ATM machine right here, and it doesn't work." So I said, "Do you have an owner for it?" And they said, "No." I said, "Okay, I can come and pick it up if you want me to do that. I do a free removal." So I removed that machine. It cost me just $150 to get a locksmith to drill it. And of course, we reprogrammed the machine. And from that point, that was my first ATM I actually had. Okay. After having that ATM machine, I placed it in the location I placed. It was a local spot here in Pembroke Pines. It's a Dairy Queen. It was a cash-only Dairy Queen. And that location produced almost $2,000, like about $1,700 a month for me residually. And I did nothing. All I had to do was hire a company to do the cash logistics, to load the machine with cash for us, kind of like a Brinks or Garter or private armored service. And I literally just sat back and collected the proceeds of the revenue.
Right. And it's important for people listening to this to understand, and you really don't have to come up with the cash, because people don't understand that. You don't have to come up with the cash. Would you? It's like owning a bubblegum machine, for lack of a better term.
Correct. Yeah, Jay. So thank you for that. So, a lot of people have a misconception that owning an ATM machine is owned by a bank or a financial institution or large corporation, which is, of course, usually misunderstood. Most of the ATM machines you see in a gas station, a grocery store, or any one of those C-store small locations, these are usually owned by individuals like myself or Jay or anyone that can operate a machine. So just to let you know, anyone that's interested in doing that can do that. Most people also have a misconception that owning an ATM machine costs a fortune to do, which is
Right.
not correct.
Right. And I really appreciate you for being, let's call it, forthcoming enough and candid enough to set the to kind of let's call it, share the secret sauce. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Basically bringing other people in. I appreciate that, and that's huge. Talk to me a little bit about the difficulty in scaling up. Okay. Did you find that you had to access capital in order to scale up? Talk to us a little bit about that. Was it difficult for you to scale up, to go from your one machine to 50 machines, from 50 machines to 100 machines, from 100 machines to 1,000 machines?
Absolutely, Jay. So as I explained to you earlier, that most of my proceeds were from sales. So I had to acquire some form of revenue in order to purchase these machines, but it is not impossible. So an actual ATM machine costs, I'm gonna share the secret sauce, as Jay said, roughly around $5,000. So if you're able to afford $5,000, you can actually own an ATM machine that produces more than $5,000 in 2 months. You can get an ROI in your return in 2 or 3 months. So how I was able to scale was, I scaled one by one. I had to provide sales services for most of my operators, my experienced operators that already had 5, 10, 15, or 20 machines, by helping them build their route. So you have to create some form of revenue. You need to start off with the ambition of starting off with one ATM machine. That's what I tell everyone. Start off with one machine. The machine is interchangeable, so you can move it from one location to the other at any point if the location is not profitable. That way you're able to research and find out which locations are the most profitable locations. And if it is a profitable location, and you will have a shorter return on investment, then I'll say you leave it in there. And let me give you an example. My first ATM machine that I had, it cost me virtually less than $2,000. Because you can find a used machine. You don't have to buy a brand new machine. So the best way to enter the ATM business is entering it by purchasing a used machine that could cost $500 or $1,000. You heard that from me. And it's the truth.
Yeah. I got you.
Right. So what you'll do at that point, if the machine produces $1,000 a month, if the cost of the machine is $1,000 in 1 month, you would have made your return on investment. And at that point, after you make your return on investment, that machine continues to make residual income for you, $1,000 a month over the next 10 or 12 months. So you would need to allow yourself to receive those proceeds over a period of time. So it's not going to be, an overnight success. It's not a get rich quick scheme.
Yeah.
You need to.
And I was going to say also, Andre, that one of the things that you're not saying, that you haven't said so far, is that nothing happens until somebody goes out to sell something. What does that mean? That means that somebody has got to go out and sell the opportunity to put that machine in a Dairy Queen, and that's where the skill comes in. Maybe Uncle Joe can give you $20,000 and you go out and buy 5 machines. You might be able to do that. But the real skill, or the real secret sauce, is that somebody gets in their car and they go from place to place to place to place to place to place. So the hard work comes in, and you find a spot that somebody says, "Yeah, I'm willing to take your machine," instead of taking the 5 guys who came in here before with a machine. And I don't know that that's the case. My background is just sales and marketing, so I know what it's like to sell in a difficult, let's call it, in a competitive world. So there's some there's some sweat equity. You can't get away from hard work.
That is true, Jay. Thank you for highlighting that. One of the things though with the industry, for the ATM industry, it has evolved quite a bit since the 1990s. At this point now, there are organizations out there who are providing professional services, professional ATM locator services. So it, eliminate that inconvenience of you spending time and resource on finding location, and more just, diverting your efforts into the actual placements and, recruiting revenue for purchasing the machine. So if you're a one-man show, you can definitely do that. As Jay said, you can go out there and, of course, create a brochure, business card, and pitch it to a location as far as what services you're offering. So yeah, it's real estate is everything. Without a real estate, without a location, nothing means anything. So you're right about that.
Let's switch gears a little bit, because I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk about cutting edge, right? Talk to me a little bit about Cannabox. Cannabox is huge. I mean, it got you in Forbes magazine and 25 other publications. So it is obviously the tip of the spear. So talk to us a little bit about that, and what makes it unique, what makes it special.
Absolutely. No.
First thing, let me back up. Tell us the difference between cannabis and hemp. Absolutely. We all know, but there are people out there that don't know the difference. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Absolutely. So the difference between cannabis and hemp, cannabis is derived from hemp, right? Because hemp is a form of cannabis. However, the difference is that one is more potent than the other. Cannabis itself has a psychoactive effect when you take it. With hemp, it has a lower dosage. Hemp is legal over the retail space. Cannabis is not. Cannabis needs to be sold at a dispensary or a registered location, a licensed location. So those are the two main differences between hemp and cannabis. I could go a little bit more technical as far as what it does, the psychoactive, reaction it gives to you. But the main difference is one is legal and one is illegal on a federal level.
Got it. Yeah.
So those are
one, you can't deposit your money in the bank.
Exactly.
Talk to me a little. Again, that goes to my second question. Cannabox, talk to us about that. What's unique about it? What's special? What do you want us to know about it?
Absolutely. So, I was honored to be in Forbes magazine. I would say just about 3 or 4 months ago. They found our technology, quite intriguing, based on the timing of the industry and how things are moving in the deregulation process for cannabis. Cannabis has been viewed as a very taboo subject or issue for most people, but as time progresses, it has changed. Of course, cannabis is a legal opportunity for most people, especially for people of color. One thing we do not, maybe moving off topic a little bit, I just want to dive in this a little. A lot of people do not understand the opportunities that are set aside for individuals such as ourselves, where we've been persecuted or we've been put in jail or whatever. We've been incarcerated for these actions which are actually legal right now. So it's a matter of the timing of the movement, and I think a lot of us should know that the opportunity for us is actually there, and it's actually more prevalent than we know. So there are a lot of set asides for Black people to be able to acquire these licenses. So I admonish that you guys do a little bit of research, especially in the New York area, in the Baltimore area. Those more urban areas gives more opportunity for us to enter that space. Just to go back on cannabis, Cannabox is of course it says Cannabox, which is cannabis vending machine. Those are the pro and the cons, the acronym for Cannabox. It was derived.
You walked up to a red box one day to get your video, and you said to yourself, "What if I could?"
Exactly, Jay. So it's the same concept as a red box vending machine, or what I like to compare it to is just like an ATM machine. 20, 30 years ago, you had to go to the bank in order to get your cash. You had to go to the teller and with a bank book. A lot of people don't even know what a bank book looks like.
Right.
You need this amount of cash or do that transaction. Now, years later, they created ATM where you can actually skip the line, skip the teller, and go directly to an automated machine and perform your services. So it's the same thing with a Cannabox. Cannabox is following in that trend where you have a dispensary right now. We're creating an automation for the purchases of cannabis or hemp related products. So now you can actually go to a kiosk and purchase your cannabis, and that's what Cannabox is. So it's just fully automating, the process of purchasing and giving people more privacy, and just giving the opportunity to be able to purchase what they want when they want it, without the restrictions of having to go in a brick and mortar store. A lot of people are very uncomfortable purchasing these things in front of people because the stigma that's associated with cannabis. So we have a little bit of a hurdle to cross in order for this acceptance of Cannabox. Hello, guys. Sorry about that. I think I lost you guys.
Yeah. Well, we're back. But you were saying about hurdles that you have to overcome. I want to talk to you a little bit about that, because I'm sure that that you're still working on that. Talk to me a little bit about some of the adversities that you're facing right now. Obviously, what you're doing it's a very, let's call it complex. Yeah, it's a very complex business. There are a lot of moving parts. Talk to us a little bit about any of the adversity that you faced while building this business, and how you've overcome that adversity.
Absolutely. So, one of the things about creating or inventing something that has never been done before, something that is, I like to say, has been considered taboo or restricted, is that you face a lot of hurdles, a lot of restrictions, and a lot of legal fights. It took us over 5 years from the actual point of developing the actual Cannabox into launching. Also, as it is right now, it's still a startup company. But one of the hurdles we face is the actual payment processing side, which, of course, because it's federally regulated, there is a big hurdle when it comes to accepting payment. So we're not able to collect payments from the vending machine and deposit it directly into a bank account source. However, we've been doing it cash only at the moment. So our vending machines are cash only. We have been implementing the Bitcoin side of payment processing, which has been working. So we're creating a blockchain payment processing software, which allows us to accept payments. So now we do have a form of payment, but it's on a blockchain, which, of course, a blockchain is a way of collecting any form of payment. The other thing that we find, or one of the issues that we have in a launching phase, is the actual licensing of the vending machine, because the vending machine is considered a kiosk or is considered a mobile dispensary, so it doesn't really have a listing as of yet. We've created that, and we're implementing something that is new. So we have had some setback with of course, the SIC code to try and determine what section does it fall in. As of right now, it falls into a kiosk vending machine. So long story short, we've been able to overcome most of those hurdles. Currently, at the moment, we're launching in New York. We've also partnered with the Indian reservations. Which provides some form of sovereign protection for us.
Here in the state of Florida or New York?
Only in the legal states, only in the recreational states.
Okay, so you have DC, you have Colorado, you have Oregon.
California, yeah, there are probably like 30 different recreational states at the moment. So Cannabox is diverse. So we have two sections of Cannabox. We have the cannabis section, and we also have the hemp or CBD section. with the hemp or CBD section right now, we're actually in over 4 or 5 states at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
We're currently in most of the most popular strip clubs here in South Florida, providing vape and also hemp-based products such as Booby Trap and other places. So we're masking both industry. We're masking the deregulated and the regulated industry right now.
Interesting. It's just truly interesting. Truly interesting. Wow, that is really, really interesting, which means that you are developing a new business model, period. What about competitors? Are you anything patented or patent pending, or will you have competitors?
Well, first of all, I do have a little bit of background in patent and trademark. I've actually trademarked my own name. The Cannabox is also patent pending as well. So yes, it is protected. As far as it's concerned, it is protected right now.
Cool. Sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what, I could talk to you for a long time, but I know you have a lot of things to do. You wear a lot of hats, so I'm gonna let you go. But talk to me a little bit about the fact that you have a bucket list of things to do, right? You're 39-year-old, less than 40-year-old. You got 30, 40 companies that are different, areas of evolution. What are some of the things that you have left to do? What are you looking to do? What's on the horizon for you?
Very good question.
That's a hell of a way to answer that question. I couldn't figure out how to ask that question, but what's on the horizon?
Well, Jay, for a person of my character, as most people will call me enigmatic, or they would call me peculiar, or they'll call me many different words.
It's that pink jacket, bro. If you didn't wear that pink jacket,
well, maybe a little colorblind. It's
I'm kidding.
I'm colorblind too.
I'm kidding. I'm just kidding.
But yeah. So there are many things I would like to do, Jay. In my life, I've noticed that I've been granted with a lot of gifts and talents to be able to be where I am at a certain level of success. And, I've challenged myself as much as I can, and I'm still continuing to do that at the moment. However, for me, it's not about, the financial success. It's more about the humanitarian success, because I believe we all have a purpose here while we're here alive, and we're not here to only receive, but we're here to give. And what gives me the greatest pleasure is to be able to give and, be able to offer my resources in whatever way I can to anyone that I come across. And one of the things for me, Jay, is, I would like to work with children. I would like to work with the youths, developing youths, because the youths are the future. I remember when I was a certain age, and I didn't really get much support from anyone, but I did have certain role models that I looked up to, which was able to give me that encouragement and uplift me to a certain level. So I would like to do more of that. I'd like to do more of that. I'd like to help youths develop themselves, develop their skills, identify what talents they have and how they can take that to another level and to become successful in whatever realm or form they would consider their success. So
are you doing speaking engagements, Andre, where you are like mentoring groups and stuff like that? Are you doing any of that? Well, I'm going to hold you to that, because I'm always trying to put guys like you in front of young boys and not just young boys, young kids that are growing up, to give them some different role models, right? So you'll get a phone call from me at some point in time saying, "Hey, look, can you speak to this group?" If you're into that, I'll call you on that.
I'll be more than open to that. I'll be more than open to that, Jay. So
great. Well, I got the last question I'm going to ask you is simply this: give me some secret sauce. Give me some stuff that you want to leave with, the viewers. We get about 8,000 hits on this show a week. Where people actually view it. There are a lot of young budding entrepreneurs out there that are just kind of like holding on to your words. Tell us, give me some stuff that you want to leave them with.
Okay. There are many things I could leave here, as far as what I think would help a lot of viewers. But one of the most important thing I would say that what has helped me so far is research.
Okay.
One word, research. And what I mean by that is if you have an interest in anything, particular, company that you would like to start, or you have an interest in something that you would like to do to empower yourself, I would say do the necessary research first. Google is there for everything. You want to find out how to start an ATM business, you put in how to start an ATM business, I'll pop up on the top list. You want to start a cannabis vending machine, put it in Google, it'll pop up, and you'll get a lot of resourceful information from that. So I'll say, research and read as much as you can about anything that's, educational, because it's going to help you in some form or way. Another thing I would like to leave before I depart here is just to say that being determined is everything. You have to have a certain level of determination and a passion, a drive. If you're doing something because it looks good, or maybe because someone else says, hey, you have to be, in this particular industry because it's happening, do something because you have a passion about it. And that's what has propelled me and drive me so far, because I'm passionate about what I do. I believe in what I do. So I would say definitely, try to find that passion in you in whatever you do, because if you do that, you will never lose sight of what you're doing because you're interested in it.
Yeah, people say all the time, hey, look, find what it is that you want to do and you'll never work a day in your life, right?
It's very cliche, but it's true.
It is. It's very cliche, but it's very, very true. Now, before let me do this. First, what I want to do is that I need to, if you hang out with me for a couple more seconds,
absolutely.
I want to thank our sponsors, because we certainly couldn't do this without those guys. So you just hold on for 1 second, and then we'll come back and we'll wrap up. All right. I want to thank the sponsors for making this important. Demesman and Dover, personal injury attorneys. Victor, thank you for all you do to support this show, as well as the things that you do to give back to the community and HBCUs. You walk the talk. The Florida Lottery, Career Source South Florida. Now, one of the things about Career Source South Florida, I say this every week, they have jobs that they post on their website each and every week that people can actually go to their website and apply for these positions and maybe find that thing and that next opportunity for you in your life. First of all, I'll read some of these jobs. There's a cross-border investment analyst, hourly rate $71 an hour, $150,000 job. Content coordinator, $45 an hour. Digital products operations manager, $37 an hour. HR business partner, $22 an hour. Veterans resource specialist, $16 an hour. Workforce mobile unit driver, $15 an hour. Service tech, $14 an hour. Automobile mechanic, $14 an hour. Customer service operations, Miami-Dade, $13 an hour. And event security, $12 an hour. So they post these jobs on websites every week. You can go to go to their website and apply for any of those positions, and they change those jobs every week. So University of Miami research for all, and AARP. Thank you guys for also making this show important. I truly believe that, if it is to be, it's up to you and me, and you guys do your part. Going back to you, Andre, let's talk a little bit about how people can get in touch with you, and maybe talk a little bit about your website a little bit more. And then there's one other thing that we want to show, maybe a snippet about some of the upcoming shows.
Absolutely. So yeah, you guys can reach me at my website at prodigyatm.com. That's prodigyatm.com. or you can go to startyouratmbusiness.com.
Great.
The other side of Cannabox, if you'd like to learn more about Canaboxx vending, you'll go to Cannaboxx, that's CANABOXX.com. And my telephone number should be listed here. If it isn't, then I can also give you that right now.
I think it is.
Should I? Okay. Okay.
I think we're going to run a little clip about one of the shows, and then we'll get right back to you.
Absolutely.
Hello, beautiful people. I am so excited because we have something really special planned for you. After our first show about crypto, we realized there was a lot more to talk about. So we planned a 4-part series on blockchain and crypto to help you get started on your own journey down the rabbit hole to the metaverse. Every Tuesday throughout the rest of March, I will have a new guest expert to guide us. We will cover blockchain basics, tokens, DeFi, NFTs, gaming, and Web3. Don't miss My Money, Your Money at 7 p.m. on Tuesdays, or catch us anytime on LinkedIn, Facebook, or YouTube. Let's work together to close that gap.
Cool. I got to tell you, I'm probably going to tune into that. Although I've been doing the Bitcoin for a while, there's probably some stuff out there to learn.
Absolutely.
And again, Andre, you were extremely interesting, young brother. Thank you very much for what you do. Not only the fact that you demonstrate that we can get involved in things in the cutting edge spaces, but also you demonstrate that giving back to the community is also important, which is what I believe all of us have got to be committed to and prepared to do. So enjoyed my time with you, young brother, and continued success. And I really appreciate your time.
Thank you, Jay. I appreciate it. Thank you for having me here, and it's been an honor to tell everyone about who I am and how I can help them. I'm here.
Cool.
Thank
Sounds
you.
good. Thanks, Aaliyah and MIA Miami for making this important. And we'll see you guys next week, same time, same station. This is the Business of Black Business. It's a story for you.